The woman's fingers shake as the man grips her wrist, forcing her thumb toward the mobile money machine. Just press here, Auntie. Your nephew needs the money for school fees, remember? Amara stops dead in her tracks. She's balancing a metal bowl of kelewele on her head, rushing to set up her evening spot near the Nima market when she sees them huddled by the MTN kiosk. The elderly woman looks confused, terrified. Her expensive handbag hangs torn at her side, designer leather now stained with red dust. I can't remember, the woman whispers. The man in the wrinkled tie tightens his grip. Of course you remember. I'm Kwaku, your sister's boy. We talked about this yesterday. Something cold drops into Amara's stomach. She's witnessed this before. Last month, someone tried to convince Emeka to withdraw money while she was at work. Her brother's disability makes him trusting, just like this confused elderly woman. Amara sets down her bowl with deliberate care. Excuse me. Her voice cuts through the evening noise. What's happening here? The man's head snaps up. His smile is too wide, too practiced. Just family business, sister. Nothing to worry about. But Amara steps closer. The elderly woman's eyes dart between them, lost and frightened. Her clothes are dirty, like she's been sleeping rough, but those are real diamonds in her ears. And her hands, soft, manicured. Not the hands of someone who's ever scrubbed floors or sold food on the street. Auntie, do you know this man? He says he's... The woman touches her forehead. My head hurts. I want to go home. See? She's just tired. The man's grip shifts to the woman's elbow. Come, Auntie. Let's finish this and get you home. Where's home? Amara asks directly to the woman. Silence. The elderly woman stares at her with desperate eyes. That's enough questions. The man's voice hardens. This is family business. Move along. But Amara has spent 9 years protecting Emeka from people exactly like this. She knows the signs. The fake concern. The rushed urgency. The way predators isolate their targets. If she's your auntie, what's her name? The man's jaw tightens. Auntie Rose. Now stop interfering. My name isn't Rose. The elderly woman's voice is suddenly clear, sharp. My name is Folake. Folake Adebayo. The man's face changes. The mask slips for just a second, revealing something ugly underneath. She's confused. Old people get mixed up. He starts pulling the woman toward the machine again. Come on, Auntie Rose. Her name is Folake. Amara moves between them and the kiosk. And you're not her nephew. Listen, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Amara's voice rises. Other people start to notice. I know a scammer when I see one. The man glances around nervously. A small crowd is gathering. In Nima, people mind their own business until someone shouts. Then everyone pays attention. You're making a mistake, he hisses. Am I? Amara crosses her arms. Then call her by her real name. Prove you know her. The silence stretches. The elderly woman, Folake, clutches her torn bag tighter. Her eyes fix on Amara with something like hope. This is ridiculous. The man releases Folake's arm abruptly. I don't have time for this nonsense. He pushes through the growing crowd, muttering curses. But before he disappears into the market chaos, he turns back. His eyes lock on Amara's face. This isn't over. Then he's gone. Folake sways on her feet. Up close, Amara can see the exhaustion, the confusion, the fear. This woman has been lost for days, maybe weeks. Her expensive clothes are wrinkled and stained. She smells like she's been sleeping outside. Are you hurt? Amara asks gently. I don't know where I am. Folake's voice breaks. I was looking for someone, but I can't remember who. The crowd starts to disperse. Drama over, people return to their own problems. Amara should do the same. She has kelewele to sell, money to make, rent to pay. Emeka is waiting at home for dinner. But Folake is still swaying, still lost. When did you last eat? Amara asks. Yesterday. Maybe longer? Amara's mind races through calculations. She has exactly 43 cedis in her pocket. Emeka's medication costs 30. That leaves 13 for food until tomorrow's sales. Adding another mouth to feed means... Folake stumbles slightly. Her hand reaches out for support that isn't there. Amara catches her arm. Come on, she says, surprising herself. Let's get you some food. I don't have money to pay you. We'll figure it out. They walk slowly through the market. Folake moves like someone afraid of falling, afraid of getting lost again. She keeps looking over her shoulder, checking if the man in the tie is following. "Why did you help me?" she asks suddenly. Amara thinks of Amika, of all the times people have tried to take advantage of his trusting nature. Because someone should have. They reach Amara's compound. It's a concrete block divided into 6 small rooms, shared kitchen, shared bathroom. Nothing like what this woman is used to, judging by her jewelry and dental work. "This is where you live?" Folake asks without judgment, just curiosity. "This is home." Inside, Emeka looks up from his homework. His leg braces lean against the wall and his smile is immediate, welcoming. "Sister, who's this?" "This is Folake. She's going to stay with us tonight." Emeka nods like this happens every day. "Are you hungry, Auntie?" Amara makes the best rice and stew. As Amara starts preparing food with ingredients meant for tomorrow, Folake sits carefully on their only chair. She opens her torn handbag and pulls out a small object. It's a prescription bottle. Expensive medication. The kind that costs more than Amara makes in a month. "My son," Folake whispers, staring at the bottle. "He's looking for me. I know he's looking for me." She looks up at Amara with eyes that are suddenly, terrifyingly lucid. "But I can't remember his name." Amara wakes to screaming. Folake stands in the corner of the small room, pressing herself against the wall. Her eyes are wide with terror, staring at Amara like she's never seen her before. "Where am I? Who are you? What did you do with my clothes?" Emeka sits up on his sleeping mat, confused and frightened. "Sister, what's wrong with Auntie?" "It's okay." Amara keeps her voice calm, but her heart pounds. Folake, you're safe. You're with friends." "I don't know you." Folake's voice rises higher. "You kidnapped me. Help! Someone help me!" The thin walls of their compound carry sound like megaphones. Within seconds, Amara hears movement from neighboring rooms. Footsteps. Voices. "Folake, please, look at me." Amara moves slowly, hands visible. "Yesterday a man was trying to steal your money. I helped you. Remember?" But Folake's face shows nothing. No recognition. No memory of the market, the scammer, the shared meal last night. A sharp knock rattles their door. "Everything all right in there?" It's Auntie Afua from next door, suspicion thick in her voice. "Fine," Amara calls back. "Just a misunderstanding." Doesn't sound fine to me. More voices gather outside. The compound is waking up, and everyone wants to know why someone is screaming about kidnapping. Folake makes a sudden dash for the door. Amara blocks her path gently but firmly. "You can't go out there like this. You're not wearing shoes." Folake looks down at her bare feet, confused. She's wearing the clean dress Amara lent her, but she seems surprised by it. "Where are my clothes?" "My good handbag." "They're being washed." "Your bag is right there." Folake sees the torn designer bag and her face crumples. She touches it like she's trying to remember something important. "This is wrong. This is all wrong. I have meetings today. Important meetings." The knocking gets louder. "Amara, open this door right now." Auntie Afua's voice carries the authority of someone who's lived in the compound longest. "We need to talk." Amara opens the door to find half the compound standing outside. Auntie Afua, arms crossed. Akoshua with her baby on her hip. 3 other neighbors, all staring. Who is this woman and why is she screaming? Auntie Afua pushes past Amara into the room. Folake immediately appeals to her. "Please help me. This girl took me from my home. I don't know where I am." Auntie Afua's eyes narrow. She takes in Folake's expensive watch, her perfect teeth, her soft hands. "This woman doesn't belong here." She turns to Amara. "What kind of trouble are you bringing to our compound?" "She was being robbed. I helped her." "Helped her or helped yourself?" Auntie Afua examines Folake's jewelry. "Rich woman like this goes missing, police will come looking. You think we need that kind of attention?" Akosua steps forward. "Maybe we should call someone. Social services or—" "No police," Amara says quickly. "Not yet. Give me time to figure this out." "Time for what?" Auntie Afua's voice rises. "Time to get us all in trouble? This woman clearly has family somewhere. Rich family with lawyers." Folake nods eagerly. "Yes, my family. My son, he works in... She stops, frustrated. "I can't remember where he works, but it's important. Very important." "See?" Auntie Afua points at Folake. "She has people looking for her. People with money and connections. You want them to find her here? Amara's stomach twists. She hadn't thought about this part. What if Folake's family thinks she kidnapped her? What if they call police? One day, she bargains. Give me 1 day to contact social services properly. 1 day for what? To get deeper into whatever scheme you're running? I'm not running any scheme. But even as she says it, Amara realizes how it looks. Poor girl helps rich woman, keeps her overnight, doesn't immediately call authorities. In Auntie Afua's world, nobody helps strangers without an angle. Amika struggles to his feet, reaching for his leg braces. Auntie Afua, my sister isn't a thief. She helps people. Your sister is naive. And naive people get the rest of us in trouble. Folake suddenly grabs Auntie Afua's arm. You seem sensible. Can you take me to the police station? I need to file a report. A report about what? About being kidnapped by this girl. The words hit Amara like cold water. Yesterday, Folake was grateful. Today, she doesn't remember any of it. Auntie Afua's expression hardens. That settles it. We're calling someone right now. Wait. Akosua steps between them. Look at her clothes. Look at her condition. Does this look like someone who was kidnapped and held for ransom? She's right. Folake is clean, fed, wearing borrowed clothes that actually fit. Her torn handbag sits openly on the table, contents untouched. Maybe not ransom, Auntie Afua concedes. But something's not right here. Folake wanders to the small window, staring out at the compound courtyard. This isn't my house. Where is my garden? Where are my roses? What roses, Auntie? Amika asks gently. The white ones by the kitchen window. I planted them when Chime was small. Her voice softens. He used to pick them for me even though I told him not to. Who's Chime? Amara asks. My son. My little boy. Folake turns from the window and for a moment her eyes are completely clear. He's not little anymore, is he? He's grown up. Successful. He has his own company. What kind of company? But the clarity fades as quickly as it came. Folake looks around the room with fresh confusion. I need to go home now. My driver will be waiting. Auntie Afua throws up her hands. This woman is sick. Really sick. She needs doctors, not whatever amateur help you think you're providing. She's right, and Amara knows it. But she also knows what happens to confused elderly people when they get lost in the system, especially ones without family immediately available to claim them. Just give me until tonight, Amara pleads. Let me try to find her family first. And if you can't, then we call the authorities. Auntie Afua considers this. The other neighbors murmur among themselves. Tonight, she finally agrees. But if this brings trouble to our compound, it's on your head. The crowd disperses, leaving Amara alone with Amika and Folake. She checks her phone. 7:30 a.m. She should be preparing kelewele for the morning rush, but she can't leave Folake alone in this state. Another day of lost income. Another day closer to rent deadline. Folake sits on the chair, methodically emptying her handbag and arranging the contents on the table. Expensive medication. A gold pen. Receipts from restaurants Amara has never heard of. And at the bottom, a business card. Zenith Digital Solutions. CEO Chimeka Adebayo. Folake holds the card with trembling fingers. I know this name. This is important. She looks up at Amara with desperate eyes. But I don't know why. Chimeka stares at the missing person poster for the 100th time today. His mother's face looks back at him from expensive paper, but the woman in the photo bears little resemblance to the confused, frightened person who wandered away from Sunset Gardens Care Facility 6 months ago. Sir? His assistant hovers in the doorway. The private investigator is here. Send him in. Detective Morrison enters with the same defeated expression he's worn for weeks. His report folder looks thinner than usual. I'm sorry, Mr. Adebayo. We've expanded the search to every hospital, shelter, and care facility within a 100-kilometer radius. No matches. What about the police? They're treating it as a low-priority missing person case. Elderly woman with dementia, probably deceased by now. Chimeka's fist hits the desk. She's not dead. Sir, it's been 6 months. Someone in her condition, living on the streets. Get out. Morrison leaves quickly. Chimeka returns to his computer, scrolling through the same social media posts, the same online forums, the same dead ends he's been chasing for months. His phone buzzes. Unknown number. Mr. Adebayo? This is Dr. Kamiosi from Social Services. I may have information about your mother. Chimeka's heart stops. You found her? Possibly. Can you come to our office immediately? 20 minutes across town, Amara paces her small room while Folake sleeps fitfully on Emeka's mat. The business card sits on the table like an accusation. She's already called the number twice. Both times a receptionist politely took her message and promised someone would call back. But who believes a street vendor claiming to have found a billionaire's missing mother? A knock interrupts her thoughts. Not the aggressive pounding from this morning, but something softer. Akoshua stands outside with her baby and a small pot of soup. Thought you might need this. You missed the morning market. Thanks. Amara accepts the food gratefully. How much do I owe you? Nothing. But Auntie Afua is asking questions. She wants to know if you've made any calls yet. I'm trying. Nobody believes me. Akosua glances at sleeping Folake. Maybe try a different approach. That woman has expensive medical care. Call the hospitals, ask about missing patients. It's a good idea. Amara starts with the private hospitals, the ones that cater to wealthy families. On her fourth call, she hits something. Sunset Gardens. Yes, we had a patient matching that description. But she wasn't missing. She was discharged to family. What family? I can't give out that information. You'll need to speak with our administrator. The line goes dead. Amara stares at her phone, pieces clicking together. Someone signed Folake out of a care facility. Someone who claimed to be family. Her blood runs cold. The man with the tie. The fake nephew. Folake stirs on the mat, mumbling in her sleep. A chime. Where's my chime? Across the city, Taiwo adjusts his tie in the cracked mirror of a public restroom. His wife's insulin costs 300 seedais this month. His daughters need school fees. The elderly woman was supposed to solve all of that. But the interfering girl ruined everything. He pulls out his phone and dials a familiar number. It's me. I need backup for the Nima job. The target got away, but I know where she is. How much backup? Enough to handle a stubborn market girl and some nosy neighbors. That'll cost extra. Taiwo checks his wallet. 40 cedis left. Not enough for his wife's medication, but enough for what he needs to do. Fine. Meet me at the compound in an hour, Doctor. Kemi's office smells like disinfectant and desperation. Chimeka sits across from her desk, trying to control his breathing while she reviews her notes. The caller was a young woman named Amara Okafor. She claims to have found an elderly woman matching your mother's description. Where? Nima. She says the woman was being scammed when she intervened. Chimeka's mind races. Nima is exactly the kind of place his search teams avoided. Too poor, too chaotic, too unlikely for someone of his mother's background. Did she say anything else? The woman apparently has expensive medication and keeps mentioning her son. She had a business card with your company's name. Chimeka is already standing. I need the address. Mr. Adebayo, I have to warn you. This could be a scam. People see missing person rewards and how much reward money did I offer, Doctor? Kemi checks her notes. The caller didn't mention money. She just wants help getting your mother proper care. That stops Chimeka cold. Every other lead has started with someone asking about the reward. Give me the address. Back in Nima, Amara helps Folake eat soup while Emeka does homework at the small table. For the first time since yesterday, Folake seems calm, present. This is good soup. She smiles at Amara. You're very kind to share your food. You remember me today? Of course I remember you. You saved me from that terrible man. Folake's eyes are clear, focused, though I still can't remember how I got to that market in the first place. Amara shows her the business card. Do you know this person? Chimeka Adebayo. Folake's face transforms. Joy, love, and desperate longing flood her features. Chimeka, my son, my brilliant boy. She clutches the card to her chest. Is he looking for me? I've been trying to find him, but I keep getting lost. I called his office. Someone is supposed to call back. He must be so worried. Tears stream down Folake's face. I remember now. I was in a place with white walls and nurses. But then a man came, said Chimeka sent him to bring me home. Only it wasn't home. It was somewhere else, somewhere frightening. The man with the tie. Yes. He kept asking about bank accounts, about passwords. When I couldn't remember, he got angry. So I ran. Folake's voice drops to a whisper. I've been running ever since. A car engine rumbles outside the compound. Then another. Amara moves to the window and sees two vehicles parked at the entrance. Men getting out. One of them is wearing a familiar wrinkled tie. "He found us," she breathes. Folake sees her expression and immediately understands. "The man who took me. Stay here with Emeka. Lock the door behind me." But as Amara reaches for the door handle, heavy footsteps echo in the courtyard. Multiple voices. The sound of doors being knocked on, questions being asked. "Where's the girl who's hiding the old woman?" Amara's phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. "Bring the old woman outside. Now. Or we start breaking down doors." Through the thin walls, she hears Auntie Afua's voice, sharp with fear. "I told you this would bring trouble." Folake grabs Amara's arm. "Don't let them take me back. Please." The footsteps stop outside their door. A polite knock. Then Taiwo's voice, smooth and reasonable. "Amara, we need to talk." "I know you're in there, Amara. Let's handle this like civilized people." Taiwo's voice carries the same fake politeness from yesterday, but now there's steel underneath. Amara presses her back against the door, mind racing through options. The window is too small. The wall's too thin to hide behind. Emeka can't run with his leg braces. "What do you want?" she calls through the door. "Just the elderly woman. Hand her over and nobody gets hurt." "She doesn't want to go with you." "What she wants isn't your concern anymore." Heavy footsteps circle the building. At least 3 men, maybe 4. Amara hears them testing the back wall, looking for weak spots. Folake sits on the floor next to Emeka, holding his hand. Her earlier clarity has sharpened into fierce determination. "I won't go back to that place," she whispers. "I'd rather die here." Nobody's dying today. Amara checks her phone. Still no callback from Chimeka's office. "Emeka, can you crawl under the bed?" "What about you and Auntie Folake?" "We'll figure something out." But even as she says it, Amara knows they're trapped. 3 people in a room with 1 door, facing multiple attackers who don't care about witnesses. The knocking stops. Taiwo's voice moves away from their door. "Excuse me, madam. We're looking for a confused elderly woman. Someone said you might have seen her?" Auntie Efua's response is sharp. "I don't know anything about any elderly woman." "Are you sure? We're her family. We just want to take her home." "If you're family, where were you yesterday when she was screaming about being lost?" Good for Auntie Efua. But Amara knows it won't last. Taiwo has backup now and he's not leaving empty-handed. A new voice joins the conversation outside. Younger, more aggressive. "Stop wasting time talking. We know she's here. Patience, Kwame. We do this smart." Amara recognizes the strategy. Taiwo plays the reasonable family member while his partner escalates the pressure. Classic con artist teamwork. Her phone buzzes, unknown number again. "This is Dr. Kemiose. I have Chimeka Adebayo with me. We're 15 minutes away. Can you hold on?" Amara types back quickly. "Men outside trying to take her. Not family. Help." The response comes immediately. "Police notified. Stay inside. 15 minutes." Amara looks around the small room. Folake clutching Emeka's hand. The thin door that won't stop anyone determined to break it down. 15 minutes might as well be 15 hours. "Amara!" Taiwo's voice returns, closer now. "I'm losing patience. Bring her out or we come in." "She's not here." "We know she's here. Neighbors saw you bring her home yesterday." "Of course they did. In a compound this size, privacy is a luxury nobody can afford." Footsteps approach their door again. This time someone tests the handle. The cheap lock rattles. "This door won't stop us," the younger voice says. "Just kick it in." "No." Taiwo again, still playing the reasonable card. "We don't want to hurt anyone." "Amara, be smart about this. The elderly woman belongs with her family." Folake stands up slowly. "Maybe I should go with them. I don't want you and Emeka to get hurt because of me." "No." Amara blocks her path to the door. "You said yourself you'd rather die than go back." "But these young people shouldn't suffer for my problems." It's exactly the kind of selfless thinking that makes elderly people perfect targets for scammers. They'd rather endure abuse than cause trouble for others. "We're not giving up," Amara says firmly. A loud bang shakes the door. Someone just threw their shoulder against it. The lock holds, but barely. "Last warning," the younger voice again. "Open up or we break it down." Emeka struggles to his feet, reaching for his leg braces. I can help fight them. No. Stay down. Another bang. This time the doorframe cracks slightly. Through the thin walls, Amara hears other doors opening, neighbors emerging to see what's happening, voices raised in concern and confusion. What's all this noise about? Who are these men? Someone call the police. But Taiwo's prepared for this. His voice carries across the courtyard, smooth and authoritative. We're family members retrieving our grandmother. She has dementia and wandered away from her care facility. The girl who found her is refusing to return her. Murmurs of understanding from some neighbors. To them, it sounds reasonable. Family retrieving confused elderly relative from stubborn Good Samaritan. That's not true, Amara shouts through the door. These men are scammers. But her voice is muffled, desperate. Taiwo sounds calm, official. The poor girl has gotten attached, he explains to the gathering crowd. She means well, but she doesn't understand the medical situation. Another shoulder strike. The doorframe splits further. Amara's phone rings. Dr. Kemi. We're 5 minutes out. Police are coming from the other direction. Just hold on. They're breaking down the door. Can you get to a neighbor's room? Amara looks at Emeka with his leg braces, at Folake, who moves slowly and gets confused under pressure. Moving means exposing themselves in the courtyard where Taiwo's men are waiting. We're trapped. The next impact splinters the doorframe completely. The lock tears free and the door swings open. Taiwo steps inside, straightening his tie. Behind him, 2 younger men fill the doorway. There's my grandmother. He smiles at Folake with practiced warmth. We've been so worried about you. Folake presses herself against the back wall. I don't know you. You're not my family. Of course you don't remember. That's why you need proper medical care. One of the younger men moves toward Folake. Amara steps between them. Don't touch her. Move aside, girl. This doesn't concern you anymore. Everything okay in here? A new voice from the doorway. Amara turns to see Akosua standing there with her baby, but she's not alone. 3 other neighbors crowd behind her, including Auntie Afua. The dynamics shift instantly. Taiwo's men expected to face one stubborn girl, not a room full of witnesses. Just family business, Taiwo says, but his confidence wavers. Funny kind of family business, Auntie Afua observes, breaking down doors, threatening young girls. The situation required intervention. What situation? Akosua steps into the room. Elderly woman looks fine to me. Clean fed, cared for. Doesn't look like she needs rescuing. Folake finds her voice. These men aren't my family. They took me from my care facility and tried to steal my money. She's confused, Taiwo insists. Dementia patients often have paranoid delusions. But the neighbors aren't buying it anymore. They've seen Folake over the past day, watched Amara care for her without asking for anything in return. Maybe we should wait for the police, Auntie Afua suggests loudly. Taiwo's expression hardens. There's no need for police. We're just taking our grandmother home. Then you won't mind waiting for them to verify your story. The standoff stretches. Taiwo's men shift nervously. Too many witnesses now. Too many people asking questions. Car doors slam outside the compound. Multiple vehicles arriving fast. Taiwo's head snaps toward the sound. Time to go. But as he turns toward the door, a tall figure appears in the doorway. Expensive suit. Desperate eyes. Face that mirrors Folake's bone structure. Nobody move, the man says quietly. I'm Chimeka Adebayo, and that's my mother. The small room goes dead silent. Chimeka fills the doorway, his presence commanding even in the cramped space. Behind him, Dr. Kemi and 2 police officers push through the crowd of neighbors. Folake stares at the tall man in the expensive suit. Her eyes move across his face, searching for something familiar. Chime? Her voice is barely a whisper. My little Chime? Chimeka's composure cracks. Yes, Mama. It's me. But Folake doesn't run to him. She stays pressed against the wall, confusion clouding her features. You're too big. Chime is 7 years old. He has a gap between his front teeth. Taiwo seizes the moment. See? She doesn't even recognize her own son. The girl has been filling her head with stories, confusing her further. Shut up. Chimeka's voice cuts like a blade. You're the one who signed her out of Sunset Gardens 6 months ago. Taiwo's face goes blank. I don't know what you're talking about. Kwaku Mensa. That's the name you used. Claimed to be her nephew. Chimeka pulls out his phone, shows a security photo. Care facility has cameras. The younger men behind Taiwo edge toward the door, but the police officers block their path. Nobody leaves until we sort this out, one officer announces. Dr. Kemi moves carefully toward Folake. Mrs. Adebayo, do you remember me? We spoke on the phone about your son. Folake looks between Dr. Kemi and Chimeka, her mind struggling to process the connections. I called about my son. But this man is too old to be my son. Chimeka steps closer, his voice gentle. Mama, you used to sing to me when I had nightmares. Kukuko, little bird, fly away home. Remember? Something shifts in Folake's eyes, a flicker of recognition. You sang that song when you were small. Her voice wavers. But that was yesterday. Or maybe last week. That was 28 years ago, Mama. The truth hits Folake like cold water. Her hand flies to her mouth. 28 years. But I can't be. She looks around the room wildly. What happened to me? What happened to my mind? Amara steps forward. You have dementia, but you're still you. You're still his mother. Taiwo makes his move. While everyone focuses on the reunion, he lunges toward the back corner where Emeka sits with his leg braces. Nobody moves or the boy gets hurt. The room erupts. Chimeka starts forward but stops when Taiwo's hand closes around Emeka's throat. Let him go, Amara says, her voice deadly calm. Your problem is with me. My problem is with all of you interfering in business that doesn't concern you. Stealing from elderly people with dementia is everyone's business. One of the police officers speaks up. Sir, release the boy and we can discuss this reasonably. Reasonably? Taiwo's laugh is bitter. You want to know about reasonable? My wife needs insulin that costs 300 cedis a month. My daughters need school fees. You think I wanted to become this? There are other ways to get help, Dr. Kemi says. What other ways? Government assistance that takes 6 months to process? Charity that asks for documents I don't have? I tried the legal ways. They don't work for people like me. Folake watches the scene with growing clarity. You're the man who took me from the white place. You made me sign papers. I never hurt you. I gave you food, a place to sleep. You locked me in a room. When I couldn't remember my bank passwords, you got angry. I needed that money. For your family, Chimeka says quietly. I understand that desperation. Everyone turns to look at him. Taiwo's grip on Emeka loosens slightly. You understand? You're a millionaire. I'm a millionaire who almost lost his mother because I was too proud to hire proper in-home care. Too busy building my company to notice she was getting worse. Chimeka's voice carries genuine pain. We both made choices that hurt the people we love. Don't compare us. You had choices. I had survival. You're right. But hurting this boy won't solve your problems. Taiwo looks down at Emeka, who hasn't struggled or cried out, just sits quietly waiting. You're not scared, Taiwo observes. My sister taught me that scared people do desperate things. You're scared for your family. The simple honesty in Emeka's voice does what threats and negotiations couldn't. Taiwo's hand drops away. I'm sorry, boy. I'm not a violent man. I don't know what else to do. The police officers move in quickly, but Chimeka raises a hand. Wait, before you arrest him, let me ask something. He turns to Taiwo. If I paid for your wife's medical care and your daughter's school fees, would you testify against the people who recruited you for this scam? Taiwo stares at him. Why would you do that? Because you're right about one thing. The system failed you, but that doesn't mean we can't fix individual situations. He still committed crimes, one officer points out. Yes, but he can also help us catch the bigger fish who are running this operation. Dr. Kemi nods approvingly. Restorative justice. Address the root causes while holding people accountable. Taiwo looks around the room. At Folake, who he terrorized but never physically harmed. At Amara, who risked everything to protect a stranger. At Emeka, who showed him more understanding than he deserved. I'll testify. Tell you everything I know about the network. The police officers exchange glances, then nod. We'll need to take statements from everyone. As the immediate crisis passes, Folake approaches Chimeka slowly. She reaches up to touch his face. You have your father's eyes. But you're too thin. Are you eating properly? Chimeka laughs through tears. Yes, Mama. I'm eating fine. Good. A mother worries. She turns to Amara. This girl saved me. She shared her food when she barely had enough for herself. I know. Dr. Kemi told me. Amara shifts uncomfortably. I just did what anyone would do. No, Chimeka says firmly. You did what you thought was right, even when it cost you. That's not common. I don't want charity. I'm not offering charity. I'm offering partnership. Amara frowns. What kind of partnership? My company needs community liaisons. People who understand how things really work at street level. People who can spot problems before they become crises. You're offering me a job? I'm offering you a chance to help other people the way you helped my mother. Folake claps her hands together. Perfect. Shime always was smart about people. But even as she speaks, confusion creeps back into her eyes. Although, who are all these people in my house? And why is my house so small? The moment of clarity passes, but this time Chimeka is ready for it. It's okay, Mama. We're visiting friends. Remember Amara? She's been taking care of you. Oh, yes. The kind girl with the good soup, Doctor. Kemi approaches Amara quietly. The job offer is real, but there's something else you should know. What? We found 12 other elderly victims of this scam network. They're going to need advocates, people who understand what they've been through. Amara looks around the small room that's been her world for 9 years, at Emeka, who deserves better medical care, at Folake, who needs ongoing support, at the neighbors crowded in the doorway who face their own daily struggles. When do I start? 3 months later, Amara sits in her new office reviewing case files. Through the window, she can see the Nima market where everything began. Her kelewele spot is now run by a Koswa, who uses the income to support her growing catering business. Emeka's surgery was successful. He still uses leg braces, but the pain is gone. He's back in school talking about becoming a social worker like Dr. Kemi. Folake lives in a specialized facility near Chimeka's house. She has good days and bad days, but she's safe. On her good days, she asks about the girl who saved me and insists on sending soup. Taiwo completed his testimony and entered a rehabilitation program. His wife's medical care is covered, his daughters are in school, and he's learning computer skills for legitimate work. The scam network was dismantled. 17 arrests. Dozens of victims recovered funds or received compensation. Amara's phone buzzes. New case. Elderly man found wandering in Tema claims his nephew stole his pension. She grabs her keys and heads for the door. Some things never change, but now she has backup.